Let me see. Forget about the money, money, money. Hello. Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with AstrologyMojo. I want to help you get your mojo back. If you're new to me, you may not know that I say that the planets in astrology, or in the world, in the heavens, they don't do anything to you because we live in a cooperation with the cosmos. And when the planets make a move, you feel it. When anything makes a move, you feel it because you are a celestial, sentient, eternal being. There, I said it. Okay, and now I can see you. Okay, welcome to my living room. Yesterday was my 63rd birthday, and I'm feeling really revved and excited to get on with this year. Hey, Rhonda's here. Okay, so let's see. What do I want to talk about? I'm going to show you. Well, we're going to talk about Jupiter. Excuse me. We're having a big windstorm, and I went outside a few minutes ago. It's dusty in here now, right here. We're talking about Jupiter entering the constellation of Taurus on May 16th for 1 year. And during that time, we're going to see how it might represent what you are undergoing for your sign, your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign. So come join me, say hello. And yeah, let me show you what that looks like. Okay. What happened to my image? Where'd it go? Oh. Okie dokie. We had to start and stop the internet many times, I think, because of the wind. But here we go. This should show it. There it is. Ta-da! Okay, this is May 16th of 2023, coming up very soon, right after the Mercury goes retrograde. And by the way, I've got a few more. I opened up a few more spaces for the double eclipse reading, and I will be including Jupiter in Taurus and the Mercury in retrograde. So let's see. There's going to be a lot of Taurus lineup, right, in mid-May. But what we are looking at is how this energy is going to be moving through each of the houses in your chart. So if you know what your chart looks like, what your sun sign is, your rising sign, your moon sign, you want to look where, and let me get my notes. And I'll talk about what Jupiter represents, what Taurus represents, and put all the pieces together for you. So on May 16th, Jupiter is going to be entering the constellation of Taurus. And what's that going to look like? Well, I'll get into that in just a moment. Let me just give you some dates if you want to write them down, because you want to pay attention to the retrograde dates specifically, because that's when a planet looks like it's moving backwards. But it's not on the ecliptic around the sun. Actually, it's a spiral. It's like a gyrating spiral. We look like we surpass Jupiter, but it's just further away. It doesn't go backwards. But what it represents in astrology is you going inward, depending on the topic. And we're going to get to that for each of the sun, rising, and moon signs. Again, excuse me. So on September 4th, 2023, Jupiter goes retrograde at 15 degrees. I'm going to get specific for those of us who like to study our charts and astrology and be more specific about the houses that it will enter. 15 degrees through December 30th, 5 degrees. So we start off at 0 degrees Taurus, Jupiter in Taurus, and then in September, that's on May 16th, and then September 4th through December 30th of 2023, Jupiter will look like it retrogrades backward. By degree, it'll go from 15 to 5 degrees. So during that space right there, if you know what your chart looks like, whatever angles it makes to another sign or planet, or whatever house it's in, and that house definition, you're going to see a lot of growth and a lot of changes. And I'll tell you and then Jupiter will move in direct motion, station direct, it's called, until May 25th of 2024, Jupiter in Taurus. So we have an entire year plus a week that it'll be in that sign. Now, the last couple of times, Jupiter does a 12-year rotation. So the last time through each of the constellations, so the last time that Jupiter was in Taurus was one of the last times, June 1999. I had just given birth a few weeks prior. That was my expansion, and I'm a Taurus. So Jupiter does represent expansion, exaggeration, cultural affairs, travel, legalities, publishing, writing, editing, higher education, judgment, evaluation. That's a distinction. And also the idea of being adventurous. Now, that adventure could take you from bouncing and bouncing and bouncing, and you never settle down, and you can't understand why you have adrenal fatigue and you're dizzy, or that can take you to different places where it fulfills your soul and it gives you creative ideas. So then you can expand on something. You see how it represents different aspects of human psychology. Jupiter is in our solar system. It's the big king, queen of the planets. It's huge. And so it's like our Earth looks like one of those dots in the center compared to Jupiter. If you put our Earth on top of Jupiter, it would be shadowed. We'd get swallowed whole. So it represents big energy. And when Jupiter, that big energy that is represented by the planet, but is not really what the planet's giving off, enters the constellation of Taurus, we're looking at what you value, how much you value it, how much you're willing to create a lifestyle around it, make that declaration of this is it, this is me, this is what it is. Or in Taurus, it can deal with a fixed energy, stubborn energy, possessive energy, like, no, that's my friend. Or I'm going to protect those people, or I'm going to keep giving at the sake of myself. Yikes, Taurus. It's also a sensual energy. It's a loyal energy. It's very practical. And then the value can equal security and finances for some Taurus energy, Taurus sun, rising, and moon. We're going to get into that in just a second. What Jupiter in Taurus looks like for each of the signs, sun, rising, and moon signs. And the rising sign is also called the ascendant. It is who you are ascending to become on this planet. So I think I'm going to use the universal law deck. Pardon. I did an office clearing for my doctor's office last week. So everybody was pulling cards and they were like, oh, that's so true. Everybody take a nice deep breath. Okay, so when we come say hello to me, by the way, and I just dropped like half the deck. No, I'm not going to read all those cards. Excuse me. Well, I go get them. You know, sometimes cards will fly out of the deck, and if you do readings, you understand that. And other times, you just are clumsy and you drop stuff. Okay, so let's talk about. We'll start with Aries, where now Aries and Libra are on an axis. Okay, so that means Jupiter and Taurus will affect the second house for Aries and in the general charts, and the 8th house for Libra. And these are money houses, value, security. So if you're any combination of Aries or Libra, this will even hold more value for you because, well, for Aries specifically, it's your income. Aries, sun, rising, and moon, it's your income. And what you value about your income, how you budget or not, and what changes you might make to help you shore up your resources. Now, a resource can be money, it can be time, it can be people who help you out, it can be cash, right? But it's your energy overall that's going to create the matter. So for the next year, especially remember the dates, the retrograde dates, September through December, especially if it's between 15 and 5 degrees of Jupiter and Taurus, Aries, sun, rising, and moon, there's going to be a whole experience of a new type of income, or how to budget, or how to pull back on spending, or what's valuable to you. That's going to be important. Okay. So now on that axis is Libra. We're going to do the axis instead of go in order. So Libra, that is the 8th house, and that is your money with others. Excuse me. So your money with others is going to be an interesting experience, because this is where you get into estate planning. It's where you look at if you are married or have a significant other, who's ruling the roost, who's bringing in the money, who's spending too much, who needs to be wary, who needs to have a conversation on mutual goals and mutual aims, Libra, sun, rising, and moon. And what does that look like? Do you buy a house and the other person gets put on the deed? Do you cover that person's insurance because of your employer? So Libra, sun, rising, and moon, your insurance matters are going to matter. And also estate planning for the future, legacy for any children or offspring or anyone, donations you want to make to foundations, etc. But Jupiter in Taurus also represents an expansion of values toward certain organizations or spiritual beliefs. Libra, sun, rising, and moon. So you might say, I want to start tithing 10% of my salary toward this thing that's being built for Habitat for Humanity, or to help fight trafficking, or to invest my cash in different ways. I want to look at AI and bot technology and Hex and Bitcoin. So you might be exploring these things. So if you are any combination of Aries and Libra, it's going to be even more intense. Taurus, because it's you and your persona, it's all about your body, your image, your personality, who you want to project, how you want to look, what, even down to what colors you want to wear or put into your environment, what helps you feel really grounded and flourishing in, whether it's gardening or you're growing something, or excuse me, Taurus, sun, rising, and moon. It's that idea of, where do I put my talents and my resources? Who do I want to be seen as? How do I want to be seen? How do I feel physically? Is it me versus them? Now we're on the Taurus Scorpio axis. So when I look at that and I see if you have a Scorpio in your life, Scorpio, sun, rising, or moon, and or you are looking at becoming more powerful in the public eye, or if you have a business partner who might have that kind of makeup of Scorpio, sun, rising, or moon, or you're looking at, how much input do I have with my partner? How much do I want to have with this partner, whether it's marital or business, or it could be fan base. You might be starting a blog or a podcast, or thinking about a YouTube channel. So Taurus, your thing to merge your identity and to come out more, it's like coming out of the closet, essentially. Somebody once said to me a long time ago, Elaine, you're the best kept secret of New Jersey. Yeah, okay. And so it's, that Taurus vibe is, I'm going to take my time, but I do want to expand. How do you want to expand, Taurus, sun, rising, and moon? Is it through writing, editing? Is it through publishing? Is it through style? Is it through cultural affairs? Is it including different languages into your daily expression? I, as a Taurus, am writing historical fiction fantasy, and I am having to learn some Gaelic expressions and words. And that's with this book alone, the 3rd book out of the 12-book series. So, my ear goes toward, oh, what's that? So that includes travel. And my husband and I are going to be going to Dublin and Scotland this summer. So we're very excited, and he's a Taurus rising. So what are we looking at, right? Taurus, sun, rising, and moon. It's, how do other cultures relate to who you are becoming? What do you hold as a resource? You might take a cooking class and say, I've decided to change my diet and cut out, the saturated fats, and I'm just going to go with olive oil and avocado. And I want to do these great, maybe I'll do a cooking class at the local college, so it's publishing, education, taking all that information, Taurus, sun, rising, and moon, and making it your own. Now with the axis on Scorpio, For you, Scorpio, this is all about partnerships, as we started to talk about a moment ago. And when I do the timestamps in YouTube for this particular show, it will be the axis partners. So it'll be Aries, Libra, Taurus, Scorpio, etc. So Scorpio, Sun, Rising, and Moon, the partnerships that you're attracting or that you're holding fast to, you want to ask yourself, am I giving more than I'm allowing myself to get back? You know, there's giving and receiving, right? But the bridge between them is allowing. So, yeah, Scorpio, Sun, Rising, and Moon. How much are you giving? How much are you allowing with a partnership? And you might be looking at, well, in the past there were power plays and I don't want to be part of that. Well, maybe not now. Maybe not now, Scorpio, Sun, Rising, and Moon, because when Jupiter in Taurus visits you this year, not really visiting you, but when it comes knocking on your door, you're going to be looking at a mirror of who and what you think you are, what you believe about yourself. This is for everyone, but especially now with partners, they are going to mirror what your beliefs are about working in tandem with other people and cooperation. So, Scorpio, how do you want to communicate that? Who do you want to be in this relationship? Whatever the relationship is. It could be a vendor that you're using in town. It could be a plumber that you hire to do work on because you're a builder. You know, so think about who's in your life and why. Why have you attracted this person or these people or this group of people or this fan base? Or if it's an extreme, it can be people who nitpick at you, people who don't value what you have to say and are very stubborn in their stance against your opinion. So if you have a podcast, a blog, a YouTube channel, if you're someone out in the public eye, if you've written something or you're a pundit, whoever's listening to this, whatever you're doing right now, you're about to expand through the group of other people. Now, who else is doing that? Oh, Cancer's going to be doing that, but in a different way. So Scorpio, I'd like to see you have conversations along the way, especially between September 4th and December 30th, when Jupiter goes a retrograde in Taurus, because that's the time you're going to go in and go, okay, this partnership isn't working, or I thought I knew them, or okay, I had this idea, but I didn't really express it, and now I just shocked them. Yikes. I think I should open my mouth and say what I'm thinking and feeling. Okay, Scorpio, Sun, Rising, and Moon. Now, Gemini. Moving on to Gemini. And then the axis would be Sagittarius. And we are looking at the 12th house. Gemini, this particular Jupiter in Taurus is going to encourage you to think about your actions and your thoughts before you open your mouth, before you act on things, and what's a true value for you. It's like starting over from scratch, excuse me, and making a list of, okay, what kind of work do I want to have? And how does that work for me? And how do I feel about that? And do I really value it? Is it something I would proclaim as a standard for my life? Gemini, Sun, Rising, and Moon. And sometimes you might look at where you engage in overindulgence. Do you go to extremes? What do those extremes look like? And what's the root cause behind them? Well, counseling will help, but talking about something forever and ever and ever doesn't change it. It just puts energy on it. So it's good to become aware of something, Gemini, Sun, Rising, and Moon, of what you're doing and the behavior. You may go, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I was doing that. But once you realize it, now think about, what are the options? What's the opposite? What's the alternative? Who are other people who might have experienced something like this? And that can mean you have to go on this inner quest to understand your behavior and ask yourself and start over. Make that list. It's like, do I really value that belief that I have? Because this is what it's brought me into my life. Do I value this judgment that I've had against this faction of people, or that government, or that series of books, or whatever the case may be? It's, where do you put your value system? Excuse me. I apologize. So Gemini, Sun, Rising, and Moon, when we get to the crux of it, we want to know your core fears about really being intimate. There, I've said it. what bothers you? Where do you get sick? It's in the throat. It's in the hips. It's in the parts of the digestive system. It's in the place where it's in the thyroid. It's in the larynx. Maybe Gemini, sun, rising, and moon, you are a singer, or you're someone who speaks on stage, or you're someone who's being asked to speak on stage and you're terrified. It's like, or head the meeting in the group, in the office. I better research my financial notes, you say, right? So Gemini, sun, rising, and moon, when you start to examine your fears really deep down, what's happening is you're looking at where you're afraid to express yourself and why. That's pretty profound. Now, the axis of that is Sagittarius. So again, if you are a combination of Sag and Gemini, sun, rising, and moon, this is even more impactful, especially during those retrograde times. And that is September 4th through December 30th, 2023. So Sagittarius, Jupiter in Taurus winds up somewhere around your 6th house. And that's the general chart. In your personal chart, it could be somewhere else. But in the general chart, Sag, sun, rising, and moon, we're looking at number 1, your health. Number 2, the work that you do, and it will directly relate to, and it could deal with pets as well. Maybe you're a vet or a vet's tech assistant, or maybe a dental assistant, and you're thinking, I just want to get a different degree and I want to move in a different direction in my work, but it's affecting my health. So your work and your health are always going to be tied in the 6th house. And for you, that could also mean with Taurus, the thyroid, your overall well-being, regarding your vocalization and how you express, what are you holding back? Are you afraid to speak up for fear that you will cause harm, but yet you're causing harm to yourself? Do you speak up so much that you are causing harm with the judgments that you're making and not thinking about what you're saying or doing? Or is someone pointing fingers at you? It's like, well, if you did that, it would have been better, and you're thinking, I think there's another way you could have said that. You so-and-so, you scrappy wander, right? Sag, sun, rising, and moon. So I think it's important that you vocalize, and I think I'm picking up your vibe, that you vocalize your boundaries in a healthy way so that your health doesn't suffer. Now, if you do feel exhausted or tired, you may have cortisol issues or, adrenal issues or thyroid issues, or maybe it's Hashimoto's. And how do you determine, and what kind of food do I have to eat? And, what raises my levels and lowers my levels. So it might be lab work that you're looking at, but there are practical solutions. And I want to see you do more earthing, more grounding, planting seeds and flowers, not just energetically for the business and the work that you want to do, Sag, sun, rising, and moon, but also getting your feet out on the sand, on the surf, in the earth, by a tree. Trees have an electrical network just like people do. And you just tap in. Put your hand on a tree trunk and just be quiet and just listen and feel and vibe your frequency to match the trees. And you'll feel empowered and calm and re-energized all at once. Sag, sun, rising, and moon. That's your 6th house deal. Okay, Cancer. We also have, if we look at the chart, we're going to have Mars in Cancer and Venus in Cancer. So there's a lot going on for you, Cancer. In the 11th house, Jupiter and Taurus will show up. Now, typically, a Cancer and a Taurus will get along because it's earth and water. But that's just the generalization of the energy of the signs. But if you do have a Taurus in your life, if you are, you may be a Cancer sun with a Taurus moon. You might be a Cancer rising with a Taurus sun. Whatever your makeup. Taurus, 11th house is about the people that are in your arena, the people that are in your field of vision, your associates, the people that you work with, the people that you attract, the people that you are letting go of, the people that you are welcoming. And so Jupiter in Taurus for you means a lot of very grounded, expansive people. and they could come from different countries. So if you're looking at working with people on places like Upwork, um, where you hire someone in a different country to help you do some online stuff, or maybe you're looking at attracting a different friend group, based on their evaluations, not their judgments. When you meet someone, Cancer, Sun, Rising, and Moon, and they talk to you, and we're also talking to Capricorn here because that's the 5th house axis. But when you meet someone and you are listening to them and they're talking trash about their boss or their family member or their friends, eventually you're going to be talking that way about you. So you want to be very discerning about who enters your life and why. But also conversely, if you've got major judgments because you are fixed, Taurus is a fixed energy. And in the 11th house, it's groups of people. And with Jupiter, it could be, like you've got judgments. It's like, well, do it my way or the highway, pal. And if that is your stance, you might stand to lose resources, finances, opportunities. So you want to just back it up a little bit and harmonize that need to judge or that stubborn streak that you might have. Like there's only one way to build a house, or whatever you're doing. Now, when we look at Capricorn, Sun, Rising, and Moon, and Capricorn isn't going to experience this in the 5th house of Jupiter and Taurus. And that can mean you are about to expand in a very sensual way through romance. And or with creative projects, you might suddenly become invested emotionally in writing a song, writing a book, singing music, playing with kids, having a child, maybe taking care of grandchildren, entertaining the idea of incorporating much more play, Capricorn, Sun, Rising, and Moon, into your work schedule or your work environment, relaxing more, sitting down in the middle of the day, reading a book at 2:00 in the afternoon. And you're like, wait, whoa, no, 6:00 is, woo, I blow the whistle and then I have my regimen and I do the next thing. Well, maybe someone's going to invite you to a book club and it starts at 3 p.m, right? Or a painting class that's 9:00 in the morning, Capricorn, Sun, Rising, and Moon. So when I look at the Cancer Capricorn axis, the 11th house and the 5th house, what I'm seeing is that the energy that you're both pulling in is this feeling and this need for more fun, more play, but not extreme. Not like, yeah, what's one more bag of cookies? What's one more case of wine? Because we have to watch extremes with Jupiter. And those extremes can be to the health. It's like, I'm working out like 4 hours a day. I'm at the gym and I'm going to get it toned and I'm going to, drop those 5 pounds. Okay. There's no extremes necessary because extremes create extreme results. Now, okay, if you're training to be an Olympic athlete or you're training for a particular event or you're studying for the bar, because Jupiter also represents the law, but who's that going to be? Oh, that's going to be more Virgo and Pisces energy, possibly Leo, Aquarius. But what's happening for you, Capricorn and Cancer, but Capricorn, Sun, Rising, and Moon, in the 5th house is you're going to see the value of humor, being lighter, entertainment, the ability to create, to be more relaxed in your body, to not be fearful, to not be holding on to, okay, I'll get that started later. And then you finish your bag of chips. That would have been me. I'm a Capricorn rising. But now it's like, I am working out every day. Okay. But I'm still eyeing those bag of Siete cassava chips. And the thing is, there's a lot of procrastination for you, and with creativity and lightening up and just relaxing, Capricorn, Sun, Rising, and Moon. So I want to see you take advantage of this time, especially remember between September 4th and December 30th to really dive into what is that thing that helps you to feel most alive? What music helps you to come out of yourself? What speaks to your soul, Capricorn? sun, rising, and moon. And then how do you want to be playful with a romantic partner? How do you want to relate to children, if you have any in your life? How do you want to be more creative? Everybody's creative, but how do you want to express that? That's going to be very fascinating for you to discover this year. And Leo, now we're on the 10th house, and Aquarius is the 4th house. So Leo, the 10th house with Jupiter and Taurus there is you becoming very practical, very nose to the grindstone about legal matters in your workplace, and or who can help you get to the next level, and what kind of practical, tried and true methods, proven methods can help you advance in career. Leo, sun, rising, and moon. Are you ready to shift careers? Are you ready to make it real? Are you ready to increase your prices? You might be thinking, oh, it's really hard. People that it's like, there's money on this planet. Don't be thinking you can't have any because it's just not true. You're worth it. I mean, don't go overboard either. There's no extremes, but Jupiter and Taurus is saying, you need to value your talents, Leo, and not talk about. It's not about, oh, I'm so good at this. I'm so proud of myself. Yeah, be proud of yourself, but, feel it, exude it, emit it, but show it in the action of your work practices. Now, if you are retired or you're going to school and you don't have career, maybe you're raising kids and you're at home, it doesn't mean you're not working, and you need to be valued, and you're going to be asking for that. You'd like to be a valued member of the family. You'd like to be, remember, we're on an axis. So we're on the 4th house, which is home, hearth, real estate, and Aquarius energy. And the 10th house for Leo is career and life direction. So you're going to be, excuse me, thinking more about where you want your talents to be seen. Oh, excuse me. Okay. I think I'm back. And how you want to express that in the world. And do you ask for that raise or promotion? Do you hire employees? Do you collaborate with different vendors? Do you go online? Do you use chat GPT to help you create marketing stuff for your business? So you're going to be exploring this this year, and especially between September and December. And you're going to be thinking, okay, am I worth it? Nobody's buying. Why aren't people buying? Why aren't people listening? If you're not selling something, you're negotiating something. It's like, I asked you to put your clothes away, kids, and it's not happening. So that means you need to alter your approach, Leo, sun, rising, and moon. And that can deal a lot with your parent relationship, to the masculine parent. And so the masculine parent energy might show itself in positive, wonderful ways, or Leo, sun, rising, and moon, it might show itself in you attracting hard-lined, black and white people who are very judgmental. Or you might be expressing that. It's like, nope, I'm not going to work with that person because they're a Muslim. I'm not going to, or someone might say that to you. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that position's been filled. And you're like, well, okay. Is it my gender? Is it because I'm transgender? Is it the color of my skin? Is it not that we have to keep going there, but apparently we have to keep going there. And to talk about one specific issue, if you're like on a rampage, I want you to stop and back up and say, Leo, sun, rising, and moon, if your eyes were closed and you could see nothing except how you felt, that's where the truth is. Someone might hand you a position or a promotion and say, oh, yeah, we love your work and we want you to stay. And, we got some benefits. And you're thinking, I was just about to quit. I don't want to be here anymore. And I just got handed money. That's people. Some other people might say, oh, I wish I had that problem. But, in your heart of hearts, there is a judgment in you about work, about your talents, about how to express yourself, or the boundary with others. So I want you to put that together in your mind, ruminate over that. And over the next course of the year, we're going to talk more about this in September when Jupiter goes retrograde. But I want you to look at that deeply and say, was I worthy in my father's eyes? And or was my father able, or the masculine parent who raised me, and it could have been your mom. Maybe you were raised in a gay household and you had two moms or two dads. Or maybe it was just a single mom and she worked all the time trying to help you out and there was no masculine energy so you're figuring it out as you go along, right? So you're going to ask yourself, am I worthy in the eyes of this authority figure? And how can I expand through that, beyond that? Perception of myself as a child not being worthy of. Okay, now we move to the axis, which is fourth house. And that is, see, here's the 10th house. This is just a general chart, but this is where the fourth house would be opposite, but not necessarily with Scorpio on it. So that would be Aquarius, fourth house, home, family, setting up shop, working from home, really digging deep into the identity of you. The fourth house is about your home, your real estate, family members, yes, neighbors, but deep down it's about your identity and your relationship to the feminine parent. And do you value that? Are you gaining from that? Do you need to separate from that? Are you emulating that in a way that does not serve you? Aquarius, sun, rising, and moon. So that's something to look at, because during this time, especially again during the retrograde, September through December, when Jupiter goes retrograde in Taurus, and remember, you are a fixed sign, so is Leo, so is Scorpio, so is Taurus. And that fixed energy is, no, this is the way I need it done. So if you are living with someone, or you're about to move or buy a house, or you got a new apartment, and you're trying to negotiate your identity, in this space with that person, it's going to take give and take. It's going to be about, let me listen, let me express. Let's have family meetings. Let's talk about this. Let's just see where we stand. And really open the lines of communication, because when Jupiter in Taurus enters there, it can be a marriage proposal. It can be a commitment made to, I am going to build the most beautiful sanctuary in my living room. I don't own my own house. I have an apartment. I'm just going to like build a little corner, a book corner, a nook book, an altar for meditating. I'm going to do the most amazing, setup for the kitchen so I can bake and then shoot little Instagram videos. I'm going to do an at-home business and I'm going to thrive because of it. So Jupiter is expansion. Taurus is value. On the high end. On the low end, it's nope. Jupiter's judgment and Taurus is stubbornness. So it's like, no. I set my alarm and my alarm has to go off every morning at 5. If you don't like it, tough. Wear earplugs. That's not going to work. It's not going to work and be healthy or happy. So Aquarius, when you're looking at your home, the home is in the heart, right? And then you're looking at, like, here, for instance, let's just go here. This is my living room. I took this picture this morning. Today is May 4th. I took this picture this morning. Those are flowers that my brother and sister-in-law gave me for my birthday yesterday. I turned 63 yesterday on May 3rd. And they sent me flowers. That painting, a wedding present, and that painting, you can't really see the face, but they're amazing, by Anne Ridings, an artist, also a writer, phenomenal writer. And I put my pieces like a little shrine to, that's Tuan, heaven and earth, and the female is an angel, and her wing is melting onto the man who's coming out of the earth. So it's like heaven and earth coming together. And to me, that's me and my husband. He helps to ground me. I help to lift him out of like intensity and judgment, or just seeing this way. So we work together. So Aquarius, sun, rising, and moon, you need to be working together with your space, with your environment, what feels right, how you want to relate to the people in it, and also what kind of business can expand from there. You're going to expand internally emotionally, you might start meditating, have one place you go to for 20 minutes every day, and you meditate and you give gratitudes to the universe for being you. And then you're open to new ideas will come. You're going, you know what? I saw this thing where I could do an at-home business for just a few hours a day and rearrange or write. I saw this one thing on Yelp. You edit their what do you call them when people give testimonials? You just edit them down to a certain amount of words and you get paid. So you might, Aquarius and rising moon, start thinking about an at-home business. Make a few extra dollars and then, spruce it up. All right. And the last axis we're looking at is Virgo, 9th house, and Pisces, 3rd house. Okay. So Virgo, 9th house. This is going to be interesting for you because Jupiter in Taurus is going to help you to become the master of your universe or the mistress of your universe. And that means someone might say to you, you might work at a facility. Maybe it's a college. Maybe it's a nonprofit. Maybe it's at a publishing house. Maybe you're an editor. Maybe you want to be a writer. Maybe you work as a law clerk because the 9th house deals with law, philosophy, religion, spirituality, higher education, higher knowing, meditating every day, downloading information, studying, travel, foreign affairs. And Jupiter is in this house. It's a natural placement for Jupiter in the general charts in astrology. So you might start traveling more. You might travel in your mind to new thoughts and ideas that you've never entertained before because you heard a podcast or you went to a tarot reader or you started to research, what do I really believe about religion? Am I finding religion? Now, I was raised in one of the oldest religions in the world. So I do understand that this is a quest, and I put that religion aside very thankfully and said, thank you for being there because it showed me a lot of things that it made me small. And it also helped me to see that I value research so much. Virgo, you're going to be researching. You're going to be researching and expanding through. Let me see if I can get that answer for you. You might work at a hotline. Maybe it's a suicide hotline. Maybe you work as customer service in HR and you're like, that's a great question. I want to see if I could find that answer. And so you go on a quest. It's to help you find out who you are, Virgo, sun, rising, and moon, but also with this access to the 3rd house, the communication. When I say communication to people and I say, what does that mean to you? And you say, talking. That's what most people say, talking. Communication is about perceptions and beliefs before you open your mouth. What happens in the silence between the words, Virgo, sun, rising, and moon? Also you, Pisces, as well. So during this time when Jupiter is in Taurus, it's an earth sign, fellow earth sign, and Virgo. And for you, that's really going to help ground your impulses to, be too quick to invest in something, time, energy, money, or to judge something instead of evaluate it. Let me do some research and evaluate that. Let me see if that's me. Do I resonate with that? Because this is for everyone, but Virgo, especially in the 9th house, whatever you think and you feel, you will attract. You are creating your matter as you speak. Abracadabra. It's a Hebrew phrase. It's an ancient Akkadian phrase, actually. And so in the 9th house, you might say, I would like to start donating my time, energy, money, resources toward the evolution of something. Now, you may be looking at astrology and saying, I want to see how that fits into my world, or tarot or numerology, and say, what are the practices that I would like to have that can define me on the next leg of my journey, not for the rest of my life, the next leg of my journey. You want to take it in small chunks. Pisces with the 3rd house, publishing is first and foremost, and also the idea of certain kinds of legal contracts. Now, if you are writing something, Pisces, sun, rising, and moon, if you are producing a television show, if you are coming up with legal documents because you're a landlord lady and you have tenants and you want to make sure that, your properties are cared for, your belief system is going to precede the physical matter. That's a given for anyone, but especially now for you during this time with Jupiter and Taurus, Pisces. Does that make sense? Hi, everybody. If you're watching, and if you're watching in a replay, we're talking about Jupiter and Taurus through the sun, rising, and moon signs on the axes. So Pisces, again, with the third house, your expression or lack of expression or communication, it's changing. So now you might have been given some information. Maybe you started meditating in a different way. I have 2 Pisces friends, and for their mutual birthdays, I gifted them access to Dr. Joe Dispenza's website and an online course where they can actually see the science behind meditation and the work that he's doing and how you can access that, how a person can access the quantum field and the results of that. So this is a mind-blowing thing. And one of them is already on the path and has been for many years. The other one is just like, oh, wow, this is new. Right? So think about what you're thinking about, because that thought is connected to an emotion, Pisces, sun, rising, and moon. And that emotion is going to create a vibration. And that vibration is going to bring to you the matter. What is the matter? You're the matter, and your matter is divine. Did you not know that? And especially again through September 4th through December 30th, when Jupiter goes retrograde between 15 and 5 degrees before it moves on to May of 2024 to finish out its stint in Taurus and moves on to the Gemini constellation. We're looking back. Okay, in 1999, Jupiter was in Taurus. Also in, wait a minute, June of 2011 for 1 year to 2012. So think back, everyone. June for 1 year, 2011 to 2012. June 2011 to 2012, Jupiter was in Taurus. What went on for you during that time? Think about that. Did it have to do with travel? Did it have to do with legal affairs, cultural affairs, or expansion? Did you gain weight? And you're thinking, I'm on a diet. How could I gain weight? But if you go from a specific type of food and your body's not used to digesting that food, suddenly it's going to, back up. You might be constipated. You might hold in inflammation. So Pisces, I want you to think back to 2011 to 2012, June to June, and examine during that time, what were you doing? What were you believing? What were your perceptions? Because you were emitting a frequency that is now come back around. And so you're either ready to move forward to the next level, or you have to recover some ground and say, oh, I put that on the back burner. Why? Okay. In 3 seconds or less, that's why. Then let's move on. We don't want to say too much in the why did it happen that way, or why didn't I do it? Pisces, sun, rising, and moon. But you want to look at, I think I'm able to change my mind. And if I change my mind, I change my vibration. If I change my vibration, I change the outcome of what comes to me. I hope that makes sense. Give me some time on YouTube to put in the timestamps for these. I hope this was helpful. Please remember to share, like, subscribe, and let me know your comments. If this was helpful, I'm just going to pull a card for Jupiter and Taurus overall for all the signs, sun, rising, and moon signs. And hey, Christy's here. Brianka. I know that was like speed dating. Remember, folks, today's the last day to get your link is in the link is somewhere in this, but wait a minute. Let me just make sure I get it for you. To get your solar eclipse, lunar eclipse special. And also I'll add the Jupiter and Taurus to that as well. You can get it right there. All right, this is for Jupiter in Taurus for all the signs. Beautiful. These were stuck together. And the first one is number 3, which has to do with perceptions before you open your mouth. And it's your essence. So what is the essence of your vibration? What are you thinking about? How do you feel? That vibration is going to help you to create matter through thoughts and actions. And also 11, which is a power number dealing with empathy and intimacy, and it's harmony. How can you bridge those gaps? You want to think about bridging those gaps based on what your vibe is doing. Yay. All right, folks. Thanks for being here. Thank you for being, as always. I wish you peace, and I will see you next week, next Thursday. All right. Be blessed and enjoy your lunar eclipse experience in Scorpio. It happens tomorrow, but it goes on for months. I'll see you next week. Bye.